We are rolling, right? Hi, guys. This is Taylor Kennington from Elevate Life. Today, we've got a wonderful, and I'm super excited for this video testimonial. This is Mr. Bryan Nichols, who has become a dear friend of mine as we work together, and he's just a stud. So, Bryan, how are you doing today?
Oh, doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Awesome. So, Bryan, tell us a little bit about yourself prior to therapy. Just tell us your story.
Okay, so my story is as I've come to find out, it's not as unique as I thought it was. Um it goes all the way back into high school with sports and other activities. Enjoying the outdoors, I saw an increase of what I come to find out now as anxiety. But my anxiety came in the form of dry heaving. Um, I would dry heave before wrestling matches, football games. The trash can was my best friend. The biggest thing that I noticed was hunting with friends. I would have to preface on our way to the field saying, "Hey, just so you know, if this happens, don't worry about me. It's okay. It's just who I am." Um, and I actually had the opportunity to take a nice bull elk with a friend who videotaped me, and it was the first time that I was ever able to capture my dry heaving on camera and be able to share it with professionals. Um, I've gone a couple different routes, and it never went away. Uh, I really realized that if I wanted this to go away, if I wanted it to stop bothering me, that I was going to have to start seeking other forms of professional help. Taylor always came to my mind and never pursued it until one day had a rough day um, teaching and coaching, and I reached out to Taylor and he was able to get me in, and I realized that I can control myself. I control my thoughts, and that dry heaving after killing elk is not who I am. So that's kind of the story. Went into Taylor, and we started working through some things, and that anxiety is has subsided a lot. I've noticed a lot of mental control, a lot of emotional control from stemming from the mental control, and truly can't thank Taylor enough, um, because now I'm back enjoying the outdoors, and I don't have to say, "Hey, by the way, Maverick burritos are going to come back up in just a little while when I get excited."
Right. Well, that's awesome. So, and this is one of the stories where, having Bryan actually in the therapy chair and going from almost needing a garbage can to not having a problem at all. Right. That's pretty amazing for me to watch that we could induce that almost and then shut it down immediately. So, what does your day-to-day life look like now without having that anxiety, that need to dry heave anytime you get excited?
Correct. So I'm enjoying the outdoors more. I also train and compete with border collie dogs. I was seeing an uptick of anxiety at those different competitions. We just got back from one where we saw a significant decrease in the dry heaving, which has just been a blessing because when you're in front of people, you don't want to be puking your guts out. When you're in front of a crowd of people and all eyes are on you, you don't want to be known as the guy who's out there trying to run a dog and herd cows while he's puking his guts out. That's never any fun. And so it's really made a huge impact in my life. I've also started exercising again. Exercising seemed to induce the vomiting as well and the dry heaving. Um, as I've started working out again and participating in sports, I've seen a huge decrease to a zero when I'm working out, which means I'm getting better workouts. I feel better as a person. I'm getting more sleep. I'm more active in those activities that I enjoy. And it's really took me to a whole new level.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Bryan. Okay. Now, just to pick your story apart just a little bit here, um, I have a question that I ask everybody that is willing to come do this. Um, when did you realize you needed additional support with this? What was the thought process behind that? Just because I know oftentimes people watch these and they're like, well, it worked for Bryan, but it won't work for me. So take us a little bit deeper into the thought process of I need some help. Something needs to change here.
So I was that person who thought that Taylor can't help me. I dry heave. That's my big deal that everybody knows me by is dry heaving. Um, I was that guy. When I decided to really dive into it, it was realizing that medication wasn't working. Um, it was really affecting, like I said, the things that I enjoy, and I didn't want to give those choices up um, because they defined who I was, and I also didn't want um, people to know I was a little embarrassed. I can think of many instances going in the woods with people that I knew pretty well, but they definitely learned a lot more about myself, um, which can get embarrassing, and there's that embarrassment factor. I mean, I can even think of coaching a football game, and we're in overtime, and I can't call the play because I'm holding it back. Um, so in those instances, I knew I needed help, but I wouldn't go get it, and finally, I just had enough. Um, I wanted to be normal again, and found out that I'm not broken. I'm a person. That's how it is. And the interesting thing is, I've talked to a handful of people who struggle with dry heaving as their form of anxiety, which I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the exception to the rule.
Good. Very good. So if you could reach into that computer screen right there, and if somebody's watching this that's feeling the very same thing, what would you what would you tell them if they thought they were the exception to the rule, and this is just some story? What would you tell them, Bryan?
You can think it's a story, but until you dive in, you're not going to find out. Um, there was always that thought in the back of my mind of I'm gonna be like this my entire life, and there's gonna be no escape, and there is an escape. There's a way to overcome it. There's a way to challenge yourself, um, but you have to be willing to, and that's the big thing that I learned through Elevate is it's all my will. It's all my desire. Whatever I want to accomplish in life, I can do. Um, which, if that doesn't motivate you enough, you better check your pulse, because whatever you desire, that should be your driving factor.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you, Bryan. Is there any other thoughts before we close this one out for us?
Definitely, if you even have any speculation that this is going to help you, just contact Taylor to Elevate. Set up his consultation, talk to him. You're going to learn so much about your brain that is awesome. And it's not what people think hypnosis is. Um, I wish that I could really break that wall down because it has changed my life, and it's made me a better rounded person, in the fact that my emotions are more in check, my mind is more in check, um, and now I'm getting the physical side taken care of so that I can be a better rounded person.
Awesome. It's awesome. Great job, Bryan. Thank you for sharing and taking the time out of your day to really give us a peek into your story and what you've gained here. So I sure appreciate it. Thank you, guys. If you have any questions, the phone consultation that Bryan mentioned there, it is a free phone consultation. I'm more than happy to sit down and visit with you about what we could see how we could help you. So that is an option that I offer for free as a gratitude for everything that we've been given through this business. So thank you, Bryan. Have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you later. Okay.
Thanks, Taylor. Have a good evening.